more difficult to make a fire. It's all the moisture in the air, or a primitive fire. So you can see the raindrops falling. It's not raining hard, but there is a lot of moisture in the air. All right, let's go over how to make this. Here's the problem. Normally, if you're going to make a fire thong, it's going to be out of rattan. And the problem with bamboo is you have these nodules in here. So really, your usable part is from the nodule into the nodule, so that you're going back and forth, and you're not going to really go past this. So it doesn't, I mean, you can do that with your hands, but it is really tough on your hands. Like, my hands are all eat up. Okay, so what I did was I cut it almost a ½ inch wide, not quite, and then I carved it on the sides so that about a ¼ inch was in contact with the fireboard, so it kind of came up at an angle to that centerpiece, which is easily a ¼ inch, if not more. So that seemed to work pretty good, because the larger piece below it kind of supported it so it wouldn't break as easy, but then I could concentrate all the friction in a smaller area right on top of that pinprick that I put on the bottom of the fireboard, and that was able to force the coal up through that hole and up through the funnel. Split it. And really all I'm looking for is to go from nodule to nodule. Yes, I could save all this and I could trim this down, but this is kind of a weak point. Like, it's not very flexible because that nodule's in there. So I want to go from nodule to nodule. The reason, now I could use this strip and I want to save it for later, just in case I have to, in case I run out of bamboo. So I'm going to saw that off. And it's good to use a saw or to cut it, because bamboo splinters real easy, even if you score it. So I'm going to save this piece because I might need it. And what you can do is notch these ends and you can still use it the same way. So now that I have that piece, you're probably going to need one to kind of get it started on the fireboard and another to finish it off. So one's going to build your coal dust up and really char the fireboard, and the other is going to make the coal, like finish off the coal. Like, you might fill this bowl up with coal dust halfway the first time and get it to char, and you can give it an attempt and try to get it to work. But more than likely, you're going to have at least 2 attempts. So what I'm doing right now is not necessarily trimming the sides down. I am a little bit, but really what I want to do is just trim about a 6-inch section right through here. And I want to leave about 1/4 of an inch. Now you got to be careful because this will splinter, and if your hand's too close to where it splinters, it'll go right up in your fingers. And that looks pretty good. And then I'm going to bend it nice and slow. So I'm trying to heat these fibers up by flexing them. Now you're going to get some cracks in there. There's just no way around that. But I want to keep bending it, especially right in the middle. Because I want to keep as many of these fibers unbroken as possible. So you hear a little bit of cracking. So I'm going to lose some of these outer layers. Not a big deal. I want to be able to take end to end and touch it. Right like that. And then I know it's pretty much ready. So once I've done that, to extend these out so I'm not taking these little short strokes and this doesn't wear my hands out, I've put 2 loops, one around a handle and the other so that I can make a lark's head. And that'll go out to where that nodule was, and that'll catch. So I've made 2 of those. And that's going to extend my handles. So there's one. And then I'm going to make another one. But before I do that, I want to make the fireboard. So I'm going to, let me see how that's going to lay down flat. Now, again, make it easy on you for the first time until you get this down. Like I've screwed this down for the fireboard. I'm still putting my foot on it, but I want to make it as easy as possible for my first few attempts. Because I want this to stay funneled up. Because what's going to happen, that dust is going to build and that coal is going to be forced through. And I want that coal dust to build inside here. But I don't want where it's rubbing up against to be too big. I want it to be focused. Mainly so I don't lose my coal dust and so that I can concentrate all that friction in one area on the powder and force it up through here. So my knife blade is just poking through there at the top right here. That's what I'm looking for. Now, like I said before, on the thong part, I guess this is called the thong part. I don't know if it's the whole thing or just that. On this part, you want 2 of these. So I'm going to make another one. On the fireboard, is you'll want to score a track in it. So what I'm going to do is make about a 1/4 inch wide little track so that I can make sure it goes right across that little pinprick. All right, that's a bamboo yucca fire thong. On a rainy day.